Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Francesa Five for week number 15. Good week last week, 4-1. We'll see if we can duplicate it. There's only Army Navy. I'm not going to pick it this year. I'm afraid of the underdog at 6.5 points, but I think Navy's better, and I think the quarterback's a lot better. So I'm laying off the game. All right. So 5 games in the NFL this week. 4 games to go as we go down the stretch in the NFL. Obviously, a lot on the line in a lot of places. First game up, Bills and Pats. Uh, Pats beat the Bills, shocked them earlier in the season. Bills coming off a hard-fought, come-from-behind win where they needed those turnovers to beat the Bengals. Bengals riddled them. You go into this game and you ask questions. You say, how good are the Pats overall? How good are the Pats defensively? How good is the Bills' defense? Can it stand up? And what about the quarterbacks? Can they continue can May measure up when he's going to be in a duel against, obviously, the one and only Josh Allen? So that's where we are this week. Bills trying to solidify a playoff spot. Pats trying to be the number 1 seed, win a division. They have a 2.5 game lead over the Bills. So they're in good shape from that standpoint. I still have this little thing in the back of my head that says the Pats aren't that good. And I need a couple of more tests for them to prove to me that I'm wrong. This would be one of them. I think both teams will move the ball. I think it will be, if the weather's decent, a relatively high-scoring game. And I will take the veteran superstar quarterback over the budding star quarterback. I will take the Bills minus 1.5. I don't like their defense. I do like their running game. We all like their quarterback. I think the Bills win it. Give me the Bills minus 1.5, game number 1. Game number 2. If anybody should be just playing out the string, it's the Commanders. They had a very good season last year. They went to the NFC title game. They shouldn't force anything more on their quarterback. They're on the road this week against the Giants. I think the only reason to watch this game, the only reason to make a prediction on this game is thought. That's it. He comes into this game and he wants to play. He wants to show what he's about, and he wants to win. He's already talked about running the table in these last 4 games. That's important to him. The finish of the season is important to him. And I think that is what he will bring to some of his young teammates. Obviously, people are coaching to impress, even though that's going to be a very tall order. The Giants are 2.5-point favorites at home against a very beat-up Washington team. I think the Giants win it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won it by a couple of scores. If the Giants didn't play well in this game and didn't play well offensively in this game, I'd be very disappointed. Chiefs knew they were in a must-win last week. They lost. They took some desperate swings. They had some big drops. They had some big turnovers. Obviously, we know what Andy did in the fourth quarter. They lose the game. Hard-fought, physical, tough game to a very good defensive team. In come the Chargers off a win. The Chargers are 9-4. The Chiefs know that they have to run the table to get to 10 wins and hope that 10-7 is enough. Right now, their playoff possibilities are put at plus 18% to make a wild card. They're not winning a division. That's gone. They're not going to be home for the playoffs. That's gone. We know that. They're just trying to sneak in the back door and try and make some noise and try and keep their long, illustrious playoff run alive. I think they'll beat the Chargers this week. I think the Chargers gave you a lot to beat the Eagles. I think this game we won where the Chargers know that they got work to do the next 4 weeks. I think the Chiefs look at this game far more acutely, far more as a must-win game. And I think the Chiefs will give you a good effort at home, take away the mistakes, take away the drops, maybe a little better health on the offensive line. It can't get worse. I'm surprised the line is 6, but a lot of people, I guess, feel the same way I do. I think it's a Chiefs Sunday. Give me the Chiefs -6 over the Chargers. The Colts are going out to play Seattle. I have no idea what their quarterback situation is. They're gonna be playing a tough defense. They're gonna be playing an aggressive defense in a very tough building, and a team that is 10-3 and highly underrated, a team that can score points, a team that can turn you over, a team that thinks is really, really good in Seattle. But to be honest with you, I'm shocked by the line. How did the Colts go from where they've been to being 2 touchdown underdogs? The Colts are not the Titans. They're not the Raiders. They're not the Giants. They're not the Commanders. The personnel they have, if they can get even a modicum of quarterback play, if the quarterback doesn't just destroy things, they should be able to stay inside 2 touchdowns in this game. That's a lot of points for a team that is as talented as the Colts are. Obviously, they're gonna have to do with their running game. They've even talked about running a bunch of plays with Warren, the very versatile tight end talent that I've raved about all year, at quarterback. He was a quarterback in high school. They have moved him around on different plays and different ways in the backfield this year. They have talked about packages for this game with him actually playing the quarterback position and then going to an option offense. They're pulling out all the stops. I don't know who's going to quarterback. I don't know how long they're going to quarterback for. I wouldn't be surprised if they play multiple quarterbacks in this game. But I'm sorry, if you're going to give me the Colts and their talent at 8-5 and give me 14 points, I'm going to take it. I think the line's outrageous. Now, if they lose the game 35-0, I was wrong. That's all there is to it. And I guess if the quarterback plays badly enough, that's a possibility. When you have the best running back in the league behind you and some of the other talent that you have on the offense, no way should you be 14-point underdogs. Give me the Colts plus 14. And then the Eagles come off another bad loss, another tough loss, another game when their defense played well and people are questioning their quarterback and questioning what's going on with the offense and wanting to kill the offense. You know, I shouldn't use the word kill because I don't like that, but wanting to uh, go after the offensive coordinator who is highly unpopular right now. The bottom line is the Eagles have all kinds of offensive issues right now. A lot of it has to do with the injuries they have on the offensive line. You could start there. Clearly, Brown has become a malcontent. Clearly, the quarterback must be injured in some way because he's not playing the same way as he's played. He's getting abuse from all different angles. Their defense has played very well despite injuries. Yes, they're in a free fall, but I think it stops when you play a team that right now is without question the worst team in this league, and that's the Raiders. He's had to jettison his offensive coordinator. He's taken all kinds of hits because of how his kids have performed on his staff. They've made Gentry's rookie year a disaster. They now have lost Geno Smith completely, and he had a terrible season because their offensive line is absolutely horrific. They are going to get devoured by the Eagles. The Eagles know that all they have to do, forget their trip to Buffalo, all they have to do is beat the Raiders and Washington twice to go to the playoffs and win the division. That's it. I gotta figure they can do that. They're 11-point favorites here. I think the Eagles finally come out and put up a big number. The Raiders are that bad. That's the reason for this pick, even more than the Eagles. Even more than because the Eagles need the game. It's because the Raiders are. And we all know what happened last week. And I still don't know why I'd like to ask Pete why he, at that moment, now clearly the defender jumped on the offensive player. So I saw why the delay of game was called. The delay of game, I get on the officials as much as anybody. The delay of game was not a bad call. The guy tried to delay the game. There's no question about it. He actually hit the ball. So if he says he didn't, or anyone says he didn't, that's just not true. He hit the ball. The penalty was the right call. Why he went for the field goal down 10, I have no idea. Do I think there was something, you know, criminal or nefarious or, you know, about it? Did it have something to do with some gambling coup? Absolutely not. You tell me Pete Carroll's involved in something like that? Give me a break. Pete decided he was going to. Now, I understand he's hoping for a defensive penalty, score the points, get a defensive penalty, and then you at least extend the game. If you got a defensive penalty and you threw a Hail Mary, it's just going to get you another play on the field. That might be his motivation. I don't know. Otherwise, he just wanted to lose by 7. I doubt he did this because he thought his fans were betting on the home team. They're probably betting on the road team. We know people went nuts over this, but hey, betting in the NFL is about will probably give you more agita than just about anything you can ever do because you can lose games in the most absurd ways. And anyone who has wagered on the NFL has lost in the most absurd ways. This was one of the worst beats you could possibly get. I'm sure I've seen them as bad. I'm sure I could think of a couple if I wanted to dredge them up, but this was a bad one. And people who laid 10 with the Raiders, you know, with the obviously with the chalk were very upset. You know, Denver had at one point a huge lead in this game. They let the Raiders back in the not back in the game, but they let the Raiders get some points in the fourth quarter. Um, it was a calamity of errors, but I understand. It was strange that he went for the field goal. I understand that. Well, this week, I don't think that will come into play. I think that they will be way behind and the Eagles will win. So the Francesa Five for week number 15, Bills -1.5, Giants -2.5, Chiefs -6. The game's up to 6. Colts +14, Eagles -11. The picks for week 15. Good luck.